Shalom. I want to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the archon pushing this word, in all sincerity and honesty, and to the hopeful elect, constantly enduring Shalom. My name is Kara Allah, and Lord, this is an edifying lesson. I have another article. This came out November 6th, on the night of the election. So it says, why is America testing hypersonic nuclear missiles on election day once the polls close? All right. I'm reading a little bit of it, but ultimately to answer that question is what America, along with Russia, China, all right, Iran, Israel, okay, is heading into a World War III, okay, which consists of the BRICS, which is going to consist of the BRICS nations and also the NATO nations. Okay, we're heading towards a nuclear war. That's why America is testing their nuclear capability. Not only America tested it, all the nations are testing. All right, recently, along with America testing on election day, you also have North Korea testing on election day. I'm going to jump down in the article, and it continues to read. It says, U.S. military gears up to launch hypersonic missile on November 5th. So it reads, the Vandenberg Space Force Base has planned the ICBM test to take place between 11:01 p.m. Pacific time on November 5th and 5:01 a.m. Pacific time on November 6th from the base's northern section. The Air Force Global Strike Command stated that this test is intended solely to assess the readiness of U.S. nuclear forces and reinforce confidence and strength of the nation's nuclear deterrence. Okay, but they're not going to deter anything. America testing the nuclear capabilities is not going to stop these nations from using this. All right, that's why the scriptures say, let the weak say I'm strong. At one point, America struck fear into the heart of these different nations. All right, but now that nuclear capability is available to not just America and Russia, but it's also available to all these different nations. Okay, and one of them is North Korea. Okay, so North Korea is, when the scriptures say that the weak say I'm strong, let me get that. This is Joel 3 and verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So tools of agriculture, right, that you'll use for, farming and whatnot. Instead, you taking those tools and you turn them into tools for war. Okay, so put it in today's time, when you have the money that you these countries receive, even tax money, right? Instead of putting it in towards agriculture or building structure, right? The number one thing they're putting it in towards is weapons, war, technology, and ultimately those nuclear capabilities. They have something called smart missiles. All right, they have missiles that could evade defense missiles. Okay, they have missiles that could take defensive maneuvers to reach their target. All right, and that's why how did they establish these things? Is because they, through the money, they funded missile programs. Okay, so it says Joel 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Right? So these nations that were once feared America, now these nations, they have no fear of America. They've become a nuclear threat to America. All right, and that's all through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. It's all according to prophecies. The article continues to read, America's ICBM test escalates war tensions. The looming threat of a third global conflict has intensified fears among the public and has also resulted in some major power shakeups around the world, fueled by the ongoing wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. These conflicts have drawn the world's attention, with both Western and anti-Western powers playing direct or indirect roles. Okay, so World War III is definitely going to happen. Everything's going according to plan. Continuing on to read, it says, meanwhile, China continues to assert its claims over the island, regularly conducting military exercises and diplomatic maneuvers. The situation surrounding Taiwan has become more and more concerning for the world as well. The U.S. and its allies are closely monitoring these developments. Taiwan, which is considered itself an independent nation, is not officially recognized by major world powers. However, many believe that the U.S. will intervene in the event of a Chinese invasion or attack on the island. Yeah, Taiwan has few resources that America really needs. So if Taiwan was to be attacked by China, of course that could also spark World War III. So it's a real delicate situation, man. It's a couple delicate situations, and any of these situations could be the one to spark World War III. The only reason World War III didn't start already is why, for prophecy's sake. Prophecy's sake. And what I'm talking about specifically is the two main prophecies is the MOTB, right? The mark of the beast, which is the chip, the alpha mercury chip, which is to be implanted in your body, even in your head, okay, or in your hands, or whichever part of your body, and also the time of Jacob's trouble is also coming to pass, so all these things have to happen. And then ultimately when those things happen, right, and also what else, Esau, aka the so-called white man, they have to see the enterprise, all right, they have to bring in that new world order. This is Job 20 verse 23. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eaten. Okay, so when he's about to fill his belly, what he prepared. He's prepared. Everything is already prepared. Meaning he brought in that new world order, and he's about to, indulge in it. He's about to, bask in it. It says the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. And that's going into those nuclear missiles being shot off. He shall flee from the iron weapon. Okay, what's that iron weapon? That's talking about those missiles. And the bow of steel, right? The iron weapon, the bow of steel, synonymous, shall strike him through. It says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, right? Those glittering swords that come out of the body or out of the gall is going into those silos programs, right? The nuclear missiles, they shoot out the silos and they go into the far ends of the world. Okay, but all these are going to occur. So Esau has to see his agenda through. Okay, which is what, bringing that wrath down upon the people. Tripping everybody. Okay, playing God, but then ultimately, that's one of the last prophecies that's going to lead to his demise. Back to the article. Meanwhile, the U.S., Russia, and China are the only countries with missiles that can hit targets from land. The Soviet Union was first to deploy intercontinental ballistic missiles in 1958, followed by the United States the next year, and China about 20 years later. The main missiles the U.S. used is called the Minuteman missiles, which is fired from underground silos. There are also missiles that can be launched from submarines, which the U.S. and Britain use, along with other systems from Russia, China, and France. Okay, so that's the main thing on the missiles. Okay, America and Russia can shoot them from the land, but then you have other countries that can shoot them from submarines. And this, what it says, can be launched from submarines. Okay, so they could be shot from submarines. They could shoot missiles. They have vehicles they could travel with that could shoot missiles. All right, but that's it for the article. I'm going to the scriptures and low the lessons out of Isaiah 13:4 says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. And that's going into the Third World War. Okay, before the missiles are actually shot off to end the war, it's going to be a war of men, and read about this in Joel 3, where it speaks about the valley of Jehoshaphat. On the Hebrew, it's Yahweh Shabbat, Most High's judgment. Okay, so that field is going to be ultimately a judgment ground. It says, the Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. All right, the Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. And you go into that word mustereth. Let's go to that real quick. Okay, mustereth, paquada, Strong's H6485. Show Strong's info. It says paquada. To visit, to oversee, to charge, muster, to charge, care of, miss, deposit, appoint, at all, avenge, bestow, appoint, to have, charge, commit, count, deliver, to keep. All right, some key words: hurt, do judgment, lay up, by any means. All right, so let's go back. I read it again. The Lord of hosts mustereth, or the Lord chargeth. Okay, the Lord take care of the host, take care of it, man. So all these wars take care of the host of the battle, the armies. All right, the military, the chief in commander, right? The Lord, which the president is the chief in commander, but the Lord is the one that's doing all these things. All right, the Lord is in charge of all these things. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says, they come from a far country, even from the end of heaven. Even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And the whole land that's being destroyed is America. All right, America is going to be totally destroyed. Okay, it says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So what's the weapons of his indignation? Those nuclear missiles, those ICBMs. Okay, Isaiah 13:16. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Howl, cry. Let's go into the word howl. Yalal. Okay, H3213. It says to howl with a wailing tone, or yell with a boisterous one. Howl, be howling, okay? To yell. So you're going to have these so-called American citizens, right? You're going to have 2/3 of our own people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're going to be yelling, howling, okay? And you see that now. You see that now upon the faces of the people, especially now Trump actually won the election. You got people crying and worried because they don't know where America is heading. All right, they don't want America to be destroyed, right? And Trump is considered a hothead, right? But guess what? That's the spirit. The Lord put that spirit on him to do those things. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. Which the word heart, we go into the Hebrew is lab, and when you interpret it, it's talking about the mind. Or so you could say the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way, right? So that's the point. He turneth it wheresoever he will, and the Lord is turning these kings' minds towards war, all right, towards destruction, towards developing those nuclear technologies and nuclear missiles. This is 2 Ezra 16:13, straight to the point. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Now, what arrows that could be shot into the ends of the world? All right, so it's not talking about a arrow and bow or archery contest. Okay, it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, meaning what? They have been advanced. Okay, so the right hand that bendeth the bow, that'll be the silos. Okay, and the arrow that's being shot is going into those ICBMs, those nuclear missiles, right? Because when you read the scriptures, the missiles are also compared to arrows and swords. Okay, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss. Right, like I spoke about earlier through the spirit. Those smart missiles that evade defenses. Okay, it says, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And it's the name ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. So Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Once again, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kwakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders. Salutations to Akim pushing this word, and also saying Ansi, and to the hopeful let constantly enduring. Shalom.